moved to Ealing, West Ealing, and I lived with my mother there because my parents had split up and they'd got divorced, and that was unusual in those days, wasn't it,
Yes, I guess so.
And anyway, I lived with my mother in a flat in Ealing, Swinkham Avenue it was, I could remember all the addresses, and my mother had to go into hospital. That's it. Yes, she hadn't died then because we were living in one of my father's houses there. He had property.
So she died quite young then?
Well, she was 36.
Goodness.
37, sorry.
Yes.
And
what happened, if I don't mind me
I
asking?
was farmed out. She had to go into hospital quite a lot. She had tuberculosis from the war, the First World War, and it was on her lungs and turned into TB. And she eventually, as I say, she died. And then I was taken over by my stepmother. My father was going out with her before my mother died, and he married her. He was 20 years older than her. No, she was 18 and he was 20 years older, that's right. And then I was taken over by them. And I was dragged forcibly from wherever I was lodged, screaming and yelling. And I was traumatised, absolutely. But I had to get on with it. So then...
And did you have brothers and sisters?
No, I was an only child.
Right. So that made it harder for you then?
Yes, it was. When I was 6, I went to a convent school in Perryvale, and it seemed to be up a hill. I don't know where that was, but I remember the nuns running it. They were dreadfully cruel.
In what way?
Well, if a child was naughty, I don't know what they'd done, but they would stand them in front of the class with a tongue. It was a tongue. I think they'd spoken, because you had to go around the corridor like that. You weren't allowed to speak. And I think these kids had transgressed in that way. And they made the child stand in front of stand in front of the class with this red tongue, and the child would sob.
You mean they had to stick their tongue out?
No, they weren't. Probably that's what they'd done. I don't know, but the penalty was so cruel, and even I, as a young child, thought, how could they do that? Anyway, it was pretty brutal. And then...
So it's like a strap, you mean? I'm trying to...
Well, I didn't see anything like that. But that was a convent school. And then I went to a school in Ealing, council school, I think it was, as they called them then.
So my earliest memories of school was the fact that we used to have milk bottles, little bottles of milk, and in the winter time they were frozen and the lids were up high, and all these bottles were put round the great big boiler heater that was in the classroom so that they would all melt or defrost.
And of course you were born locally, weren't you?
And then you had to try the straw. Sometimes it went through the icy bit, sometimes it didn't.
You were born locally?
Yes, I was born in Worthing, lived in Ferring.
Lovely.
And so I haven't gone very far.
You were supposed to go to school, but you didn't go to school.
Definitely.
So what was that all about then?
Well, I just didn't like school, so I didn't go.
And this is when you were living in Kent?
Yes.
So was this a village?
No, not really. It was just outside Kent, Sidcup. When I left there, I went to Footscray school.
Mm.
When I left there, I went to a Catholic school. And no, I did go to school then. I enjoyed that one. Yeah, it was very nice. I really enjoyed it.
So you've got good memories of school.
Oh yes, yeah. I've got good memory when it works.
So when you were very young and you didn't go to school, what did you do instead then?
Climb trees,
Yes, I've got the
go
feeling.
through forests and cornfields and that. I'd just like to wander, and I still wander.
On your own or with other?
Yeah,
On your own.
Yeah. And then sometimes I used to stay out very late, and then I used to either have a policeman coming looking for me, or a fireman would come and look for me. It was just fun, that's all. I just like doing it.
And did you get into trouble for not going to school?
Yes. My mother was very strict, and when she found out, she said, "You're going to school tomorrow, to a different school," and I did. But I still played truant. I'm sorry, but I'm a naughty girl.
And why do you think that was? You just like your freedom?
Yes, I still do.
Mm.
Yeah, I don't really know, because, as I said, my mother was very strict. If I didn't do what she would tell me, I'd get a good hiding. And I thought to myself, right, I'll retaliate, and I did. I had a sister because my parents divorced, and we was just brought up as if nobody was there. It's my sister went to boarding school. I was just her daughter, and then I found out later, very late, about 5 years ago, I found my brother.
Really? How
Yeah.
amazing!
Yes, and he's 14 months younger than me.
And did you know you had a brother?
No, I didn't, but one day I said to my mother, I said, "I've got a feeling that it should be another part of me." So, anyway, she said, "Oh yes, you've got a brother." I said, "Well, where is he?" "With his father." And I said, "Yeah, but where?" She wouldn't tell me. And it was funny, because wherever I was, he was 2 miles away from me.
Well, for all those years?
Yes. So it took me 68 years to find. That's what I had on my mind.
Mm.
And when I was due to come 80, I said to my daughter, "You've got all the particulars of that. Please find him. I want him at my birthday."
Oh.
And he did turn up.
Oh, how marvellous!
Yes, it is lovely, yeah.
And when you met him, did you know straight away he was your brother? Did it?
No, because I was going by the height, because I was 6'4" when I was 14, and my real father was 6'6", but Brian is down here.
Mm-hmm.
He's only comes up to my shoulder. Yeah, it was a shock to both of us, really, because he never knew he had a sister.
Wow.
He was never told by our father. And so anyway, he said he'd have to make sure I am his sister, you know, that's what you call it. And anyway, when he found out, and he said to my daughter, "I will see her." It was fun. He sat there, and I just couldn't take my eyes off of him.
No, of course
No,
not.
it was so funny, you know.
And you got on well?
Oh, we were like that.
Mm.
We're both sort of like, we like doing our own thing.
Yeah.
And that, you know. Yeah, we got to know each other. And he comes over and sees me either once a week or once a fortnight. And we go out to lunch. We go, we'll go for a ride in the car. At least he's got a car.
And he lives locally then?
Brassington.
Rustington. Yeah. And you're in Worthing?
And I'm in Worthing. I've been in Worthing since 1952.